ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copper Queen. They have been waiting for this moment. Here's a chance for a second. South African lead by 2 goals to 0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football, it's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFCON 2024, live from Morocco.
Kila mwisho wa juma hapa katika runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1 tunakuletea Mkulima.
Mkulima ni kipindi cha kila mtu. Mkulima mdogo, mkubwa, mnunuzi, muuzaji na pia anayenuia kuanza kilimo.
Kuanzia kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
kukupa fursa za biashara, kuongeza thamani hadi teknolojia zinazorahisisha kilimo.
Mkulima kisasa inakupa wewe maarifa, motisha na suluhu za kukuza mazao,
kuongeza kipato na pia kulisha taifa kwa jumla.
Tunafeed nchi, tunafeed watoto wetu na tunafeed Europa na tunaweka pesa mfukoni.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30
kwenye runinga ya taifa.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako,
ambapo fursa na kilimo zinapatana.
A very good morning to you. Thank you very much for watching KBC Channel 1. This is BizCheck. My name is Betty Kiptum and Byron Abuli is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. We shall be having conversations over the next 2 hours. The first hour we'll be talking about uptake of solar power in the country. What are the impediments to the uptake and what can be done to improve the numbers or the generation of power through solar? In the second hour we shall also be discussing matters agriculture. 61 years of age is the average age of the Kenyan farmer. How do we make sure that we are involving the young people in the agriculture sector? But first, I would like to take you to an event that is happening right next door at the University of Nairobi, where the Principal Secretary in charge of ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanu, is speaking at the graduation ceremony of the cohort at the hackathon. That is 400 interns have completed intensive, globally recognized ICT training. Let's listen into that.
In CC's office, he mentioned the villages, sometimes in Uthiru, the estates where he lives, and the villages that as long as he has his device, he can report to his work at any time. That's a reality. That's also an opportunity that many of you needs to explore and utilize your skill. You can be a cybersecurity expert serving the global market from here in Kenya. If you Google today and say how many cybersecurity jobs are unfilled globally, you'll be shocked to see the numbers. Then we say, how come we have so many unengaged youth? What do we need to do there to access that? So you have come at a very important and great opportunity time that your opportunities extends beyond the borders of your country. You have more freedoms on how you can work than the previous generation. So take advantage of that and prepare. So what do you need to do? First, you've come this far. You must have done some right things to reach where you are. And you must always congratulate yourself and appreciate yourself. To come this far, you've done the right things. Continue building on yourself, on what you've done this far. But you must do much more now. You must equip yourself with skill, because this is now the world of skill. People used to say, you need connections. The connection you need is connection with the skill, with certification, like the Huawei HNCIA. It's called HC IA. That is one of the connections that you need to give yourself. And identify any other certification so that when somebody sees you, he gets to know that you have the right skill that is required to address the current issues in the marketplace. So identify as many certifications that you require in your area of focus and get those certifications. And these certifications should not just be a paper. It should be actually a demonstration that you have the capabilities that certifications testifies of. So you must be real to yourself and equip yourself with the real hands-on in addition to the theoretical understanding of that area, so that you can be the very best in that space. All over the world, people are looking for solutions. So are you that solution provider? How can you demonstrate you are the best that can undertake that task? So that space is an emerging space. The other one is, how do you handle those opportunities that you get? You've had a chance to go to industry, you've had the opportunity to work in government. Do you take that opportunity casually, or you actually optimize? When you get an opportunity to work, do it as if it's the only thing you've got to do. Give it your very best, because that's the moment to shine. That's the moment to let your employer, and even to prove your own skills. Sometimes the person you need to prove to is not even your employer or the person who has given. It's actually more about yourself. How do you build the confidence that indeed you can resolve that problem? Indeed you can design a solution and you can implement. It builds the confidence in you, it reassures you, it gives you a better bargaining power and a better understanding of yourself. So take advantage of the opportunities. I've seen many young people waste and squander opportunities that they have, thinking that they are working for the supervisor. This supervisor is not appreciating, or this colleague who is taking advantage of what I've done. The main focus of those work is actually to you yourself. It's to bring the best and reassure you of your capabilities. And also working is a service to God. Yeah? And taking the best of every opportunity to give service. Coming back to the country, we have also huge opportunities. Now government is digitizing. We have huge opportunities in the digitization in government. Private sector also need to digitize. I appreciate to see what Safaricom has done. And Safaricom started digitizing with the company, private sector, came up with pay bill, many entities integrating. Almost every entity has integrated. And so is the other opportunities now. Integrating to government is also another new opportunity. What role will you take in the next phase of opportunities that you can play as an individual, as government digitizes? We are also connecting to every part of the country. We are building digital hubs, one in every ward. We are providing new opportunities. We are building Wi-Fi's across the country. As a technical person, what are these opportunities we can do? What are your thoughts about e-commerce? What are your thoughts about digital platforms? We have something called digital platforms economy, especially those of you who are doing software development. What are you doing to see that we even grow indigenous digital platforms or enhance the platforms that are already emerging? We have the e-citizen. It's becoming a platform with us, almost 13 million people registered there. We have now Afya Yangu, which is under Ministry of Health, another emerging place, data analysts. We have 24 million people registered there, about 5 million already enjoying services. It's another emerging digital platform that you can integrate and think of solutions you can build on top of that. We are thinking about digitizing mining, blue economy. There are opportunities that will come out of there. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing? How can you integrate and create solutions where you are not even looking out to work with government, but you just need opportunity to integrate and create solutions and serve the industry and the general public? We are also working on Ministry of Education. And so there will be many digital platforms that you can build on. So I work so that when we see this, we want to see Kenyans participating in these opportunities. We've talked about startups, talk about innovation. These are exciting opportunities that many of you need to look at and see how we can optimize. Government is building the necessary infrastructure, the necessary arrangement, innovation hubs. We have built one at Konsa called Tumbuktu with UNDP. We have built one in Mombasa called Festafela. So what I wanted to share is that you have used for government, private, to some of you starting your own businesses.
That is a story coming to you from the University of Nairobi, and that is the Principal Secretary in charge of ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui. They are speaking with a cohort of 400 interns who are graduating with extensive ICT skills that they have received, and he's telling them that it is important to look out for the opportunities that are immense in the technology space. He has mentioned cybersecurity. He has also said that the government has put in place quite a number of measures to ensure that this space has opportunities for the young people. There are innovation hubs. He's mentioned a number of them. So he has told the young people to look out for those opportunities and get ready and take up those opportunities to ensure that they are contributing to nation building. Our very own Alan Aoko is on that bit and shall be filing a detailed report in our subsequent bulletins. Now we come to studio and start our first conversation here. We want to talk about matters renewable energy and specifically solar energy, how to ensure that the uptake increases. About 90% of Kenya's electricity is generated from renewable energy sources, and of course Kenya looks to up that to 100% by 2030. And one of the energy sources is solar, but it is still very much underutilized. And to have this conversation is Kevin Mutabacho Maina. He is an electrical engineer at Davies and Shadliff. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Betty.
Yeah. Sure, you can please introduce yourself, what you do, and just tell us where we are in terms of solar energy use in Kenya right now.
Okay, thank you once again. My name is Kevin Mutabacho Maina. I'm an electrical engineer working at Davies and Shadliff Limited. I'm actually an alumni of Nairobi University, so it feels good to be back. Yeah, so at Davies and Shadliff, I work in the solar department with a team of around 5 people. We are tasked with designing, and also we do feasibility studies. We design the solutions, and we oversee the installation of the solar projects. Yes.
Right. So where are we in terms of solar uptake in Kenya? We know that in the scope of renewable energy sources, it's one of the least utilized. Yet we receive quite some good sunshine, which can produce more energy in Kenya and in this region. Why are we not tapping that?
Thank you very much for the question. I think the first thing I'd say is that initially the cost of solar was still quite high. So this, of course, it's a limiting factor. The cost was a limiting factor.
Right.
But with improvement of technology, has seen the cost of mostly solar modules come down by from 2022 to in the around 2-year span. The cost has come down by around 70%, making it more accessible to people. So it's just a matter of now just awareness, which is, I think, part of what this show is about. And then, yeah, I think once we spread awareness and show people the benefits of solar, not only the cost benefits, but also the benefits to the environment in terms of reducing the carbon emissions, I think it's something that people will uptake.
Right.
Yes.
According to the International Energy Agency, it says that solar electricity is 20 to 50% cheaper than other sources, other electricity sourced from other energy sources. And so now that you're talking about awareness, why are we not taking this up more? Because we know that the cost of electricity in this country is high. Manufacturers keep complaining that that is the sole reason for their high production costs. So why are more people not taking up this energy source?
Actually, you find that it's something that is gradually picking up, and we're finding that more and more industries, institutions, even homes, people are taking up the solar solutions. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, mainly it's a cost factor.
Right.
It was a cost factor, and since now technology is improving, and we're seeing the cost of not only modules, also the other components, the inverters, the storage, they're coming down. And shows like this, I think, will go a long way in spreading the awareness and just informing people that it is something that is doable right now. It is achievable. It is not a reserve for maybe the rich people. Everyone can access their solutions.
Right.
Yes.
Let's talk about that cost more in depth. If you're looking to set up a solar system, so to say, solar electricity generating system for a manufacturing plant, what are you looking at? Since you do this on a day-to-day basis, just bring us down there with you.
Okay, so the first step will be to conduct. So, for example, let's say an industry reaches out. And they say they're looking for a solution. So we first of all conduct a feasibility study, seeing what solution will offer and how it will help them. This is accompanied by a site visit, so that we are able to see the availability of space, because solar panels, they take up quite a bit of space, especially for an industry. We then assess the energy demands. We conduct an energy audit. This helps us to understand how much energy they consume and their energy consumption trends. We also take a look at the amount of money they pay for the power from the grid. So that whenever we're giving them a solution, we're able to tell them that this solution will be able to offset your bills by this much. This solution will be able to pay itself. The return on investment is about maybe 2-3 years. And this is, I think, a very good. It's a very good selling point. From there, we proceed to do our design. This includes doing what we call CAD designs that are able to map out how we're going to be mounting the panels, where we're going to be mounting the rest of the equipment. We also offer. Then we offer. Once that is done, through a team of technicians, once we give the proposal and we have a sit down with the client and they see that it's something that makes sense, we proceed to procure the equipment and undertake the installation. Then finally we do offer monitoring, so that the client as well as the contractor is able to monitor the energy generation. They're also able to see if there is any challenges. The good thing with the kind of equipment that is available in the market right now, you find that it is very high technology. So you're able to monitor the system remotely, and you're even able to troubleshoot so as to assure minimal downtime for the client. Yes.
Right. And the technology, of course, has been improving over the years. But when I was doing my research, I found out that most of the technology required, the infrastructure required, has to be imported. Has that changed in the past few years?
Unfortunately not. I think most of the solar solutions you're seeing right now in our country is being imported from mostly China, because the cost of production there is lower. I think there are a couple of companies that had tried implementing some manufacturing plants for solar products, but I think because of the high cost of production, I think it just makes it makes it financial sense to have it import from here. But I think it's an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity for us to see how we can bring the cost down, so that we're able to manufacture those things. Is going to lead to a generation of jobs, and also if we're able to export the product, also income for our country. Yes.
Of course, we shall be talking more about what can be done to bring down these costs in a little bit, and that is, of course, one of the points we shall delve more into. But I'd like to hear from you, if someone is watching this and they're even thinking of a home solution, is it viable for someone to have solar generated electricity at home?
Yes, yes. You find that solar not only, there's a lot of advantages towards solar solutions. Other than the cost factor, you find that it also improves reliability. Sometimes you find that maybe the grid has to be shut down for maintenance, or maybe there's a technical issue somewhere, and for institutions, for residential, where maybe you need power during the day, you find that it really affects the operations. So it increases reliability. You can have solar solutions with storage, where you store the energy generated in a battery, and you're able to utilize that during power outages. And then another factor is also just the factor that you're helping the environment by going green, reducing the reliance on fossil fuels, and offsetting the carbon emissions. So for residential solutions, actually it makes sense, because the technology right now, we can find that we have, because of the advancements, we are able to install solutions that will give the client service for even a decade, up to a decade, in one investment, which is, I think, it's something that is very, it's very inviting. Yes, yes.
When you look at the cost implications, of course, the initial costs are high. Paint for us a picture in terms of how much, or just the amount you will save over that time by using solar.
It varies.
Right.
This figure varies. For example, if we are to, it varies depending on the application, because you find for an industry, if they have a daytime operation, we're able to offset their bills by up to 70%. That is quite high. And then for home solutions, you find that for home solution, because the consumption is not very high, if we include storage, we're able to clients are even able to go off grid now. They completely able to reduce reliance on the grid. So and then you find that the ROI of around 3 years is it makes it a viable solution. Yes.
Right. Climate enthusiasts we should all be climate enthusiasts.
Yes.
Yeah. So in our small ways, but a lot of them have come up with solar farms, you know, and there has been some sort of school of thought that you're putting up solar farms, and it's taking up space in the farms that should be generating food. I have seen a number of innovative ideas where countries are laying solar panels on railway tracks in between there. Others are putting them on parking lots.
Yes.
So just tell us, speak to that, please.
Okay. So yeah, I think I've seen what you're talking about, and I think it's about innovation. Like you mentioned, car parks. You find that this allows us to use the available space in two ways: as a parking lot, and also for generating energy. Then for farms, you find that farmers have this sort of innovations that. For crops, maybe you have a seed bed, which needs a bit of shade. So you're able to utilize that space even more, because you can do your thing on the ground, and then we can have a ground mount solution that offers shade while still generating energy. To add to that, I think we've seen even solar solutions being done on top of on water bodies. So we have some floating technology with the solar panels on top of it. This offers it's innovation, because first of all, the water keeps the solar panels cool, and you see, because high temperature affects the efficiency of the solar modules. Yeah, so I think we're seeing a lot of innovations around that space, because you find that here in Kenya, we are blessed with space, but of course, as population increases, that's going to shrink. So we need such kind of innovations that will allow us to utilize our spaces to the maximum. Yes.
Of course, we cannot ignore the place of government in increasing uptake of such solutions. What are your thoughts in terms of public-private partnerships to improve uptake of solar?
Actually, so we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of that where you find that the private sector is contributing greatly towards uptake of solar. You find that we're having private power purchase agreements that allows private companies to install solar farms that are able to reduce reliance on the fossil fuels, to reduce the strain on the grid, because people are becoming self-sufficient. We're also seeing a lot of international companies coming in offering financing solutions. As I mentioned earlier, that cost being one of the biggest factor, you find that we're able now to, through these financing companies, you're able to have a solution at zero cost. This means we come to you, we do the study, we give you a design, we tell you this is how much it's going to cost, but because maybe companies can be cash constrained, we have these partners, third-party companies coming in, offering financing, and we're able to offer a solution to the client with them putting up zero upfront cost. This allows them at least to have a bit of liquidity, and through the savings that they're going to be realizing using from the solar plant, they're able to pay back now this third party, this financier. You find that it reduces the strain on liquidity for the industries. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow, that is very important. There's something that you said earlier about bringing down the costs. You talked about there was a move by manufacturers to come up with these technologies right here in Kenya.
Yeah.
But the cost of production is high, and the competitiveness of those products is still low because of that. So are there any government interventions that can be done, like subsidies or incentives, to ensure that this stuff can be produced locally?
Yes, mm-hmm. yes. Actually, there are things that are already being done.
Right.
We're seeing that from the policymakers, first of all, you find that most solar solutions, they are not VAT rated. So this I think it makes it more affordable. And then we're having sponsors that are donating towards research and development. So seeing how we're able to be able to start manufacturing some of these products in-house in the country. I mean, and this is going towards. Yeah, I think because most of these things, that is the beginning of everything. Mm-hmm. You do a research, and then you see how you're going to be able to develop towards the goal, which is now being able to produce these things locally.
Right. Remember, I'm speaking with Kevin Mutabacho. He is an electrical engineer at Davies and Shatcliffe, and we are talking about solar energy solutions. Are you using solar energy in your house? Have you installed anything? What is your story? Kindly share with us. On Twitter, we are at KBC Channel 1. My personal handle is at Betty Kiptum. Across all platforms as well, you can share with us on those particular handles, and we shall be sampling some of your thoughts within this particular broadcast. We want to take a quick break. When we come back, this conversation will continue. Do stay with us.
Today is a testimony of a man that survived as a mistaken identity, and he survived to live to give this story.
My story, it was in the year 2014 as I was negotiating the corner. They overtook us and blocked our car. Their gun was ready, cocked ready. for anything. Mlikuwa nafikiri mtaepa. Na mimi nikamwambia, we are not robbers. We are servants of God. Hapo ndio alinifuata na risasi.
Thank you for staying with Channel 1. This is BizCheck. My name is Betty Kiptum. In studio, I have Kevin Mutabacho Maina. He is an electrical engineer at Davies and Shadleaf. And the conversation today is about renewable energy, specifically solar energy, why we are not using more solar energy or generating more of our electricity from solar, despite even the incentives that have been given by the government. Of course, he just said that it would be important for people to take up this particular solution because it is cheaper. The initial costs are a bit high, but it is cheaper in the long run. Kevin, before we went on break, we were talking about the benefits of solar. Please go ahead.
Okay. I think the best way will be for me to mention a few figures.
Okay.
There's a project we just commissioned a few days ago. We did. It's an institution. We installed for them. They invited us to for a solution. Yeah. They were in need of a solution, of a solar solution, and we were able to do the whole process and execute the project. It's a 300 kilowatt peak grid-tied solar solution, which aims towards reducing the amount of energy we import from the grid. I think we're able to accomplish this project and commission it, and we have been monitoring the performance, which has been excellent, and we are seeing savings of up to 25 to 30% of a normal cost, which allows such institutions to invest that money into other sectors, be it administration, be it growth. So that's just one of the benefits for this. It also allows I think the reason I mentioned that project is also encourage, because it's a private institution. Okay. I wanted to highlight so as to encourage private sector participation in renewable energy. I see that it's something that it's feasible, it's something that it works and will save you in the long run. And the added bonus of that, you're helping the universe. Yes. And
of course, I mentioned that 90% currently from renewable energy sources.
Yes.
That 10% can be, fueled by solar, yeah?
Yes, that is the aim. That is the aim towards 2030. We aim to increase the uptake of renewable energy, solar. We also have other sources like wind and geothermal. But today we're talking about solar. So solar can help bridge that gap between going from 90% to 100%. And we think with the kind of initiatives we're seeing from the government, the favorable policies, it's something that I believe we're able to achieve in the coming years. Yes.
And of course, for us, Kenya, where we are placed geographically, it's a very advantageous position because we are at the equator. There are people who do not get as much sunlight as we do. Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Being along the equator, we see that we're able to receive up to maybe 6-7 hours of sun hours. Comparing this with maybe Western countries, which get maximum sometimes between 2 and 3 hours. So I think it's an infinite resource that we need to start utilizing. Maybe because I know Western countries maybe look at us and seeing all these resources that maybe we're not utilizing. So it's something that we need to take up. We need to take advantage of the gift that God gave us. And if we do this, we're going to be able to see a lot of self-reliance as well, a lot of savings, and also Mother Nature is going to appreciate. Yes.
Is there a quality of sunshine that is required for solar? Yeah?
Yes. You find that the optimal conditions where solar works best.
Yeah.
This is at moderate temperature of around 25 degrees. So you find that if you deviate from that, it affects slightly affects the performance.
Okay.
Too high of a temperature reduces the efficiency of the solar modules. Also, you find that maybe in dusty areas, once you have dust on the solar panels, it reduces the production of the solar panels. So we find that even in our solutions, we do offer. In our solution, we do offer a solution to this. In that, we install a cleaning pipeline, an automated one, so that for areas that are very dusty, we find that the maintenance is a bit more often. So we, of course, ensure that the panels are clean, so as to increase the efficiency of the system. Yes.
You said 25 degrees.
Yes.
A lot of places in Kenya go way higher than that on normal days, 30s, sometimes 35 in very hot areas. How do you now achieve a balance there?
Okay. Good thing is that the effect on temperature is it's not too high. Okay. It's not too high, as long as because the kind of solutions that we offer, they are mostly relying on light. So as much as maybe the efficiency will go down because of maybe the high temperature, you're still able to get a lot of energy from them, and then you find that. So temperature, I think it's something that we still think need a bit of research on how to ensure that we mitigate that challenge. And then for solutions like dust on top of the panels that I think I mentioned earlier, that we offer cleaning services for that. Yes.
And what happens, maybe someone is watching, they want to take up a solution and they're wondering, okay, right now it's very rainy, it's cold, it's very cloudy. What happens when the sunshine is not as we know it?
As we know it.
Yeah.
So this comes down to the design, because when you're doing the design, you need to take account for such factors.
Okay.
So you design maybe for not the worst case scenario. Maybe you just find a balance in between perfect conditions and not so perfect conditions, so as to ensure that even during such weather, July weather here in Kenya, you're able to the system is able to serve you. Yeah, so it comes down to the design. Yes.
Comes down to the design.
Yes.
And when we are talking about innovations such as solar, and of course there's a lot of technology that is required there. Talk to us about the preparation towards being a solar energy expert, so to say.
Okay. So, for example, like I mentioned earlier, I have a background in electrical engineering. Yeah. So I think how you work towards becoming an expert is, first of all, being in the industry. I started off as an apprentice in a solar company. I used to accompany the technicians just to get the hands-on experience. Then there are accreditations being offered by EPRA. As you progress, there are tiers to which you're being accredited towards becoming a solar expert. You can start by I think there are 3 tiers: T1, T2, T3. T3 being the most experienced, and maybe a solar the most experienced, solar expert. Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of being what do you call it? Having a passion for it. Having a passion for it, which ensures that you're able to read up on the new technologies. You're able to read up and understand the technologies that are there, and then also get a bit of field experience, hands-on experience. Then do a bit of studying, do the exams, and they're able to accredit you. Yes.
The reason I ask is because a lot of employers have been complaining that our education system, there's a mismatch with what is expected in the industry. So getting that hands-on experience is very important. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, that is important, because it just gives you an appreciation of what goes into implementing a solution from initial to actually commissioning it. You also get to understand the kind of processes that go into it, from planning to doing the installation to doing some tests, all the while also keeping in mind that you have to be safe, because some of these solutions we find that they install on top of roofs, which is working at height. So yeah, I think hands-on experience is very key towards being an all-rounded solar expert. Yes.
What you have studied is part of the STEM subjects, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And we know that there is a bit of imbalance in terms of women being in those subjects. So I would like to hear from you. You are in the industry,
yes.
Where you work, other places where you've worked. What is the women representation looking like, and has it been improving over the years?
Yes, most definitely. We have seen that even the initiatives, I think women in STEM, that encouraging young ladies and women towards coming towards the technical side, because which has seen a mismatch in representation. So right now, for example, where I am, the numbers are almost balanced out. Yeah, I think it's an initiative by by our leadership team to see that women are also represented in this technical field. But I think I've seen a lot of initiatives, even countrywide, encouraging women to not to shy away from this industry that has maybe been dominated by the male species. So I think with this encouragement we're seeing better representation. Yes.
Right, that's very important. I am very passionate about women issues, so I think I ask all my guests about that. So now to the solar uptake, what would you, as an expert in that industry, want to see the government do? What do you want to see the county governments do as well to ensure that more people are taking it up?
I would like to. I think what the government can do is, first of all, for institutions, because they also have maybe not residences, but maybe offices. They can start by maybe going green, maybe taking up solar solutions. Then also maybe we can see. I think something we've seen from Western countries. We've seen maybe rebates. Once you have a solar solution, you find that the government is able to give you an incentive so as to encourage more people to uptake it. Because once you're told that if you incur this cost, which you will have incurred anyway, you're going to get something back. I think it's a huge motivation for institution and also for residential solar renewable energy uptakers. Yes.
Right. Let's talk about, you mentioned 300 kilowatts?
Yes.
The project that you're doing.
Yes.
I'm curious about these mini grids, so to say, being able to feed into the main grid. How is that looking like?
Okay. So we're talking about mini grids being fed into
the small solar projects. If they have excess power generated, if they can feed that power into the main grid.
Okay. I think so there's something called net metering that has been introduced by. I think it's something that has been in discussions, and I think as early, either late last year or early this year, it was passed. That we're going to be able to allow net metering. This means that whenever you have an installation and you have excess power, you're able to export it to the grid. Currently, at the moment, right now, we're not able to do that. But with the new legislation and with the new equipment that I think we're waiting on, it's still something that it's an ongoing discussion. We got initial approval. Right now, we are maybe in the development stage so that they're able to develop the equipment that will allow us to do that.
Yeah.
So once this goes, it's going to be another incentive towards the client, because right now what happens is whenever you have excess, so you have to design your system so as not to have excess power, because any excess power is just going to be wasted.
Yeah.
So but once, so this limits the kind of solution that sometimes you're able to do, because again, energy fluctuates.
Right.
It's not a constant consumption. So right now we find that we are designing the system so as not to have any excess power. But once net metering is allowed, we're going to be able to export power, and also this is also going to be helpful to the grid because it's going to reduce the reliance on maybe diesel generators, the fossil fuels. Yes. Right.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. I would like to take you to an event where a State of Education research report is being unveiled. We have Principal Secretary in charge of basic education speaking currently. That is Professor Julius Bitok, Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok speaking. Let's listen in to that.
And that at the moment we have 12.6 million learners. That is in junior, or that is in primary, junior, and secondary school right now. 12.6. If you do your mathematics, the ratio right now is 1 to 29, because you just divide 12.6 million divided by 434,000 teachers employed by the government of Kenya. So you get 1 to 29. The global UNESCO recommended student-teacher ratio is for every one teacher for senior school, or rather secondary school, is 1 to 35. For primary school, or what we are calling now comprehensive school, it is 1 to 25. So from the government perspective, we are doing well. And we are looking at 2027, and we're saying by 2027, in the next 2.5 years, the ratio will have come to 1 to every 25 learners. One teacher per 25 learners. So the state is very, very strong. However, I want to say that I was having a conversation last week in Elgeyo Marakwet County, and had a meeting with a few principals. And I made some observations at a school called Simotwa School, where we had a presidential function. And from the discussion, it is very clear there are issues which we need to discuss as a country. When we started the placement of students, we realized that there are gaps in secondary school. There are 9,750 secondary schools in Kenya. Of those 9,750, 5,000 schools, of those total number of schools, there's no learner who selected those schools. So over 1.2 million learners were expected to transit. None of these learners selected 5,000 of the secondary schools. So when I asked the principals what is the reason, we realized that more than 3,000 of these 9,000 schools have less than 150 students, meaning they are very small. So we are going to call upon all stakeholders. We have a national conversation on the sustainability of some of our schools. It's a conversation we are going to have so that we're able to optimize the utility of resources. So as we sit down in this summit, I wanted to jog your mind a little bit and tell you we have some work to do to ensure that we create the best possible learning environment for our learners. Allow me now to read my speech. I wish to start by extending my gratitude to Safaricom and M-Pesa Foundation for inviting me to this very important event. Indeed, it is a privilege to be among this distinguished assembly of great minds gathered here for a very worthy cause. Indeed, the stated theme of this assembly, which is reimagining education to be inclusive, resilient, and future-ready, is not and must not be a mere rhetoric. It is a strategic guiding star to the ideal pillars of our education system. It is a service of notice of the need to disrupt the status quo of our education system. It is an appeal to our boundless capacity to innovate solutions to fix that which is not working or that can be done better. It is the toll of the bell of declaring that time is nigh for a radical transformation to align our education ecosystem to an unknown and a demanding future. The pace of change in today's world is extraordinary, spanning advancements in artificial intelligence and automation to climate change and shifting global economies. In such a fast-moving environment, education must do more than just prepare learners for a generic job market. It should and must empower. As stakeholders seated here this morning in the education sector, we are therefore invited to reflect on the following key questions. 1, are we preparing our children for the challenges of the past or for the opportunities of the future? 2, is our education system accessible, inclusive, fair, or is it perpetuating and entrenching inequalities? 3rd, do our schools have the capacity to withstand the crisis that we often see? As government, building on the foundations of a future-ready system, we are focusing on the competence-based education. We are now focusing on what competences our learners are. As a ministry, we have implemented policies and programs that focus on equity, relevance, and resilience. The rollout of competence-based curriculum, which emerged from competence-based education, is underway. These are modern participatory education designed to benefit over 10 million learners from pre-primary to junior. The competence-based education emphasizes skill development, learner autonomy, and value-based learning. It discourages rote learning and obsessions with examinations. As we can see, 844 had been really too much exam-oriented. But we are saying with CBE now, with competence-based education, every learner will be given an opportunity to display their talent, whether it's in sport, whether it's in social sciences, in whatever. It's no longer about only examinations. Although our brother here was saying the single most important grade in life, which is true, is the KCSE grade. It is true. But with CB now, because we all agree that KCSE grade, if by bad luck a learner gets sick on that day, they are doomed. They are condemned. So it may not be really, it is true, that is the single most important examination. But we want to move out now from that. Because you can be very good in examination, but you don't come out.
That is Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok, who is the Principal Secretary in charge of basic education there, speaking at the Citizens of the Future Education Summit, and he has talked about the need to ensure that education systems are accessible as well as fair to the learners, those who have and who do not have as well as, and he has talked about the need to have a conversation on the sustainability of schools in terms of the number of students and whether facilities in there are actually being utilized to the maximum. So that particular report will be coming to you in detail in our subsequent bulletins. We would like to wrap up our conversation here in studio with Kevin Mutabacho Maina, who is an electrical engineer at Davies and Kevin, I'd like to hear from you as we come to a close of the conversation. What does the future look like for the uptake of solar energy in Kenya?
The future is very bright. I think, having mentioned that earlier, that the renewable energy solutions, mostly solar, has been made very accessible, not only to the big institutions, but also to residential people. So I think I'll just like to encourage end users to just walk into the nearest. The good thing is that we've made it very accessible, like across the country. So just walk into the nearest solar expert company and maybe just engage any solar expert, and you'll find that people could be shying away from something that they think is out of reach, but yeah, just engage one, and you'll find that it's a solution that is very attainable. For our future, I think with the many benefits that we're seeing for solar solution for solar power, and the cost coming down, I foresee a scenario where we're going to be able to attain the 100% renewable energy in the coming years.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing with us your thoughts. And of course, 100%, we all want to get there. Asante sana. That is Kevin Mutabacho Maina. He is an electrical engineer at Davis and Shatcliffe. We have talked a lot about solar energy solutions and what is available in the market, why it is important for more people to take up solar energy, just because it is a cheaper source of power or electricity, and also there are benefits to the globe, the planet Earth, in terms of sustainability. So if you are a green-focused person, please make sure you're switching to solar. Well, that is the first conversation here on BizCheck. When we come back, we shall be talking about matters agriculture and how to ensure that we are bringing up the next generation of farmers or people in the agriculture value chain. Do stay with Channel 1. We'll be back in a minute.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika, ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri, David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
For those who find solace in the great outdoors, Kalimoni area in Kiambu County is a treasure of scenic wonders. The area is characterized by lush greenery and agricultural fields. Here, would-be visitors can take part in guided nature walks along eco-friendly trails, where they can observe a variety of flora and fauna unique to this part of Kenya. This tranquil environment offers a perfect backdrop for birdwatching, photography, and simply reconnecting with nature. The destination is home to farms that specialize in organic farming, horticulture, and agrotourism. Local farmers would share their knowledge and practices providing visitors with insights into sustainable farming techniques that promote environmental conservation and food security.
When the kids come for fun world activities, if in the schools, they also have attached in the CBC center, because we have animals, we have different types of crops that they will get to see and experience.
The area also offers state-of-the-art facilities ideal for work holiday.
Naweza sema chakula ambayo inavutia wengi sana ni chombo. Kuna chakula ambayo ya kienyeji ambayo tunaita chombo, ambayo kuna chicken kienyeji.
Mchuma Odim, Magical Sense in the county of Kiambu.
Thank you for staying with Channel 1. This is BizCheck, and we now want to get into the second hour of the program. The conversation is Matters Agriculture, and today we would like to see how to ensure that young people are getting more involved in agriculture. 61 years is the average age of a Kenyan farmer. What is the challenge? Why are more young people not going to the farms and, being involved in the agriculture value chain? And to have this conversation, we have Arthur Muiruri, who is the president of the Kenya Agricultural Students Association, as well as Eliud Bitok, who is an advisory board member at Kenya Agricultural Students Association. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Right. When you hear that number, 61 years of age is the average age of a Kenyan farmer, what comes to your mind as a young person? I'll start with you, Arthur.
For me, what comes to my head is that we need to have a change on that, and to have a perception, and maybe every player in the space of agriculture in Kenya, we should see how we should bring more young people to participate in agriculture. Because that means if 61 years is the average age of a farmer, and the lifespan of a farmer, the average lifespan of a Kenyan is around 70 years. That means in the next 10 or 20 years, we'll have no people to produce food in this country. Yeah.
Right, and that is, of course, a big challenge because people must eat.
Yeah,
yeah?
You must eat.
Your thoughts, Eliud?
Yeah, I would want to say that 61 years is a long period. There's a lot of dynamics happening in agriculture. And if we really talk about 61 years, we will be reflecting on the outdated technologies that were being applied then in agriculture. So the current agriculture should be a little bit transformed, that we have a new way of doing agriculture. And we have youths who are the key drivers to bring in new aspects, new innovative ideas to be able to change this agriculture to the modern agriculture that we want to have a look at it. Yeah.
Before we delve into those solutions, you know, that are modernizing agriculture. For a very long time, agriculture was thought of as this back-breaking job that does not have any returns.
Correct.
And that is how a lot of young people shied away from going to the farms as their parents used to go, right?
Yes.
So what will it take to change this perception? Let's start with you, Eliud.
Now, first thing first, I want to mention that agriculture has been taken as a dirty job. Many people perceive agriculture as very dirty, and therefore we want to change this narrative and tell the youth there. They've been complaining there are so many issues and challenges affecting the youths, but we want to challenge them that from these dirty hands, you get what we call clean food. So it is these dirty hands that give us the clean food. So to change this perception, we need to start from the word go. Let's relook at our curriculum, for example. Let's appreciate agriculture as a profitable business and a a platform to showcase some innovations that can bring solutions to the modern agriculture. So basically, we need to start from aligning our curriculum from the bottom level. We need to look at our children, or rather our pupils in primary schools. Let's talk about 4K clubs. Let us strengthen them. Let's also talk about the CBC component. Remember, right now the government is rolling out CBC, and in CBC, our focus is, or the government focus is on skill development. So then, let's develop the skill in this particular pupil or the student at high school level, and be able to nurture this talent through the CBC platform, and eventually be able to also translate this skill into something meaningful for people to be able to appreciate, and for the younger generation also to be able to appreciate the contribution of agriculture in their lives. So if we are going to nurture this skill and eventually give it a return, or rather a reward in terms of course, employment and all the other benefits that comes with it, people will be able to change the perception, and they will now be able to uptake, or rather it will increase the uptake of agriculture as an enterprise and a profitable business.
Right. Arthur, your thoughts on that?
Okay, my thoughts on that maybe can be divided into two areas. One of them is to make agriculture more palatable to the young generation, and the other one is to reduce the barriers or the challenges that the young people are facing in the agricultural space. Now, a little about how the challenges that are existing currently. One of them that is more prominent, agriculture, mostly in Africa, it's done on land. The innovations are there, but we have not scaled to commercializing hydroponics as young people. Now maybe we should have ideologies on how we can utilize the small land that is there. Because you know, the land tenure system, our parents have that land, and most of them don't want to leave the land to their generations now, so that you can have land to do agriculture there. And another challenge is financial access, because when you're doing agriculture, you need to have finances, and for that maybe the financial institutions in Kenya may tailor, I guess, loans that are addressing specifically the young people who don't have any collateral to give. Even some of them have not gone to school, but they want to practice that agriculture. Maybe they should have that financial accessibility. And another thing is about policy. The policies that are there, young people should be involved when they're being formulated. So at least, even when it comes to the implementation of the policies, at least they understand what is happening. Yeah. And now making agricultural palatable is providing incentive for the young people and providing market for the whatever they are producing, so that at least they can see it is a good venture to come in, and so that we can demystify the notions and mindset and perception that agriculture is a bad career. Yeah.
You talked about the challenge that is, of course, land.
Yeah.
A lot of our agriculture is done on land.
Yeah.
There's the issue of land subdivision that is going on, and farms are getting smaller and smaller, and of course also young people don't have finances. I would like to hear from you what solutions exist in terms of, you've mentioned hydroponics, and also across the agriculture value chain.
Okay. Now for the solution, maybe for a specific context of land, I can give an example. One of them is hydroponics, where you farm on vertical gardens and you use water rather than using soil, and you put nutrients on the water so that the plant can absorb that. Another thing is vertical gardening, where if you have a small space of land, you can, rather than cultivating horizontally, you cultivate vertical, sorry.
Yeah.
So that now you can utilize the upward space, which at least even when you have a small piece of land, the upward space is unlimited. You can go to up as you can be able to do it. And another thing is, on land is, I can give a context. You know, most of the government parastatals have land that is just idle. That is from the case that I have seen mostly. Maybe they can find a way on how that land can be utilized by young people to do cultivation, maybe on terms agreed by them, and at least it will support the long-run goal of making Kenya food secure.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Very important thoughts there. Eliud, yourself, in terms of solutions as well as maybe innovations that the young people can actually bring into this space.
One, you've just mentioned about the solutions that we can bring on board, and I'm looking at it from this point of view.
Mm-hmm.
We are nurturing youths. And if you look at what is happening currently, we have a number of jobless youths. Mm-hmm. This is a time bomb. Remember, we are breeding a generation of jobless youths is actually in a hungry continent. Let me put it in quotes, in lack of a better word to say. Africa is grappling with issues to do with food insecurity and all that. Yet we have very energetic and young and youthful workforce. So I look at it from this point that we need to bring in the industry to come on board now and then connect the training institutions to the industry. Let's have an opportunity, because there has been a mismatch between the training aspect and the market.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a farmer who goes to farm. When he goes to farming, or when she undertakes the farming, she should be aware of where to take the produce. Is there a market for what you are doing as a farmer? Similar to the youths, and similar even to these training institutions. As we train these particular students, do we look beyond and focus on where next? How do we manage the transition from the training to the next level? So I look at it from the point of view that we need to strengthen the industry and the academia side of the coin, so that we make sure that the programs that we do in our training institutions, we have a connection to the demands of the industry. What do the industry want? What specific skills do they want? By looking at that, that will really bring a lot of solutions. And by saying that, we will be able to observe a number of graduates that graduate and they don't have enough jobs for them available. So if the industry is able to tell us the demands, or rather the needs that they need, we will be able to equip these learners, or rather the training institute will be able to equip these learners to suit what the industry wants. So that if we are junking out 10,000, and today in Kenya, if we junk about maybe 100,000 graduates, and we are able to observe like even 20,000 from the private sector players and even the government and all that, it will be a very good solution in as much as making the youths appreciate what they learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is that we need to set up incubation centers. The problem, actually, in most cases, you realize that we have youths who have been exposed to adequate training in terms of their curriculum. But you realize that they have ideas, but where to incubate these ideas is not available. They don't have the money. My colleague has just mentioned about the aspect of a lack of funding to be able to execute that which they have in mind. So if through the government and all the other private sector players and even NGOs, if we have a way of coming together, set up an incubation center to be able to nurture these talents, allow this youth a space to be able to showcase what he or she has acquired or feels that will work in bringing agricultural solutions to farmers, then that will be the way to go. I would want to mention that, because I've seen this happening here in the University of Nairobi and also in Murang'a University, among other universities, we have what we call Kantaria Technology and Innovation Center that has just been set up as a way of bringing these ideas for the youths to be able to give them a space, allow them to incubate, bringing the private sector players to be able to invest in it, support these youths, and I'm very sure with that we are going to get a number of solutions and also engage the youths in bringing the solutions to agriculture.
Right. Arthur, I see you nodding. You have thoughts to add?
Yeah, maybe to add on that, on part of solutions. Yeah, maybe as my colleague has said, academic institutions are very critical on matters of youth employment, specifically in the space of agriculture, because whatever you learn that is whatever you'll go to practice in future. And if there is a mismatch between what you're learning and whatever the industry needs, that means you will not be compatible with the industry. And that will elevate the unemployment notion. Now maybe having incubation center, that is one which is good, and they should not just be structures there. They should be active and engaging the young people, specifically the student and us Gen Zs, so that, yeah.
I remember when we were young in primary school, we used to have gardens that you had to tend to and make sure that your beans or your maize actually grows to fruition. And we were very excited when we harvested, you know, even if it was a handful of beans, you were very excited. But by the time I was getting to high school, the people who were taking up agriculture even as a subject were very minimal, right? Very minimal. Eliud, I'd like to hear from you. You mentioned 4K clubs. What do you see happening right now in that space?
Now, thank you for that. I think there is a disconnect between what happens at the lower levels and what happens as you advance. Because you realize that, as you just mentioned, at lower levels, when we are being engaged at 4K clubs and all that, it is an initiative that is meant to really build up our skills and appreciate what agriculture is all about. Remember the contribution of agriculture to the economy, and of course even the job opportunities and all that. But now, I think where the problem is that we lack adequate mentorship, especially at transition level. And you see, it also builds up from the perception that we are talking about. But you know the Gen Zs and also, of course, I will say youths in general, they are focused on white-collar jobs. They really want to appreciate being seated in an office and being seen on camera and all that. But really, if we are able to manage the transition from 4K clubs now as they move into high school and now start demonstrating whatever they grow on their farms through the demonstration plots that were there, and even to the universities now, having also the demo plots and the innovation centers, we will be able to bring solutions to that. So really, I look at it as a challenge of mentorship. We really need to strengthen mentorship at lower levels so that we are able to maintain the same number of students to transit to the next level and eventually even to the university level and all the colleges and all that. So really, there is a problem on mentorship. Yes.
Both of you are university students, yeah?
Yes.
Right, yeah?
Yes.
And you are studying agriculture or agriculture-related courses.
Yes.
I would like to hear from you from a personal perspective, how you got to decide that that is the line you want to follow. I'll start with you, Arthur.
Okay. Now, for me to decide on doing agriculture, it was maybe a quite interesting coincidence because me in high school, much of the agriculture, because when I was growing up, agriculture was form of a punishment. Now, whenever you go, you come to school late or probably you make noise, you're told go to the farm and do this work. Now with that, you tend to disconnect completely with agriculture. Now for me, I was good in mathematics. Now I wanted to do BCom, but miraculously, I just found myself doing agricultural education and extension for my undergraduate. And For the first year, it was quite a struggle, but from second year, I just realized that was the best decision that maybe that has happened so far. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Yourself, Elliot?
I would say that one of them, of course, is what my brother has alluded, but the other thing is that our settings also defined our careers to some extent. I'm brought up in a place whereby agriculture is valued as one of the source of livelihood. In fact, some of us, we've schooled out of the returns from agriculture. But I realized that we are not doing agriculture to the satisfactory levels, because at times we just look at it from the media and even the internet and all that, and we find that there is a way agriculture is being done elsewhere. So now I challenged myself that, you see, there is no way we can farm 10 hectares of land and get this number few bags of maize, for example. So how is it that we can, how better can we do it so that we make sure that we are able to transform this and be able to achieve exactly what we are able to read even from the medias? So I was challenged. Personally, I like science. I do like a lot of research, and maybe I did mention, I failed to mention that I'm a PhD student at Murang'a University of Technology, currently at my research stage. So really, these are some of the issues that brought up that desire to be able to change the way things were happening in the society, and especially with agriculture. Our parents were all farmers at that level, and we've really grown out of farming. And therefore, becoming part of a solution to transforming that agriculture is what really inspired some of us, and personally me.
Right. Thank you for sharing your stories, and I hope someone out there is thinking of following the path that you've taken. You are in the academic space. You interact with a lot of academia, and I would like to hear from you. Research has been very highly underfunded in this country for a very long time, and we know that for the solutions to come together that actually make sense for the Kenyan farm, you know, as opposed to an American farm, the Kenyan farm, research has to be done. Yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start with him. Arthur?
Okay. Now, maybe for me to share that, I might include a small analogy on why there is a much disconnect on matters of agricultural research. As an association, Kenya Agricultural Student Association, we were brainstorming on a way on how, not on a way, it is a challenge where for me as an undergraduate student, I just go to school. In my fourth year, I'm supposed to submit an agricultural project, which I have to do research, but after I'm done, that project will be picked and placed in the shelf of the university, and that is it. But now, there is more than that, because some of them, the students do with them from the heart, and they want to see that change happening. But now, because you're only learning towards your grades so that you can graduate in time and everything else, now I guess that is where we can tap that opportunities, because I know in Kenya we have a lot of students who are doing agriculture, and the research that they do, maybe we can find a way on how, because the research is already there, and probably the solution, when you go to the field and correct all that data on a specific problem that you identified, now how to take that idea and that problem from your thesis booklet to a farmer perspective so that you can address that challenge and the farmer can feel that. I guess the government, private sectors, and institutions like Kantaria Agricultural Technology Innovation Center, maybe I have to give that example because that is the one that I have interacted with. Yeah. And partnership between private sector and the government and the academia, so that to enhance whatever is there to scale it and be a solution to the farmer. Yes.
Right, thank you for your thoughts. Eliud, thoughts on research as well as implementation. We know that they say Kenya has very good papers, but they're all sitting on shelves, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
So on research, just as you mentioned, there is a challenge of funding. And I want to implore the training institutions, including the universities, that there is need to increase the budgetary allocation for research. Because remember, why do we do research? We are doing research basically to bring solutions to problems. Because one of the key aspects that informs the topic of your study when you are doing research is a problem identified somewhere. So then how do we solve this problem if we don't fund the whole idea about solving the problem? So we are able to address this by increasing, because we are expecting the government to fund us, we are government institutions, but out of the allocated funding, how much have we allocated to research? So maybe we need to have a discussion there so that we ensure that being the core business of an institution of higher learning, or rather any institution, research is very important. So teaching and research. So let's have a huge allocation of funds onto that aspect so that we are able to translate the ideas that these learners have to meaningful and impactful solutions. Let's not leave students with good ideas but nowhere to execute those ideas. I will also want to emphasize that I really want us to, or rather I really implore the training institutions to strengthen the collaborations with the industry. For a long time, I think the industry has been overlooked in this, because we have industries who are able to fund these ideas. Some industries are very critical in some sectors. For example, if you are talking about doing the modern agriculture, we have issues to do with drones, for example. We have issues to do with AI and all that. Youths are very vibrant in that. They want to adopt the latest technologies in a particular sector or in a particular field. But then the industries are the ones to implement some of these ideas, because these youths will just come up with an idea, but now through the platform to showcase some of these ideas, these industries will be able to fund some of these ideas and eventually be able to adopt it as part of their framework to be able to cascade it now to farmers, because they have the financial muscle and all that. So when we get these industry players to come in and look at what our students have in mind, I'm very sure that some of them will be very interested about what is happening, and through that they may be able to fund some of these particular innovations. And also, it also motivates the students. If I'm a student today and my research, having presented my research, is adopted by a particular firm, and tomorrow as I walk around, I see maybe an implementation of that project out of my thesis or out of my research work, I'll be very much happy, because I know I have contributed towards bringing a solution to one or two or three of the challenges that affects the society. Yeah.
Arthur, you mentioned that you are studying for extension services.
Yes.
I know that extension services in this country have been quite a challenge. Yes. Scarcity of extension service officers, farmers have had to, find solutions on their own. As you're studying this and going into the job market, what do you hope to change?
Okay. Now, for extension services, first of all, they are devolved to the county government, and
yes.
For the extension officers, maybe in Kenya, when you graduate as a graduate, now it's for you to go and find your own mechanisms and how you will be able to train the farmers and everything. Now, for me, as part of a solution, I would think if maybe probably extension services are, they're not regulated currently. Even you just have a small knowledge of agriculture, you can just go out there and maybe practice extension because you believe you have that knowledge. But mostly when you go to classroom, now you have an understanding of different theories on how extension is supposed to be done. And now that is why you see most of the extension, probably private extension, it is not that conducive because it is not regulated by anybody. You just wake up and decide to educate people on a topic and you go and do that. But for me, for a solution, as I have said, I can maybe prefer that the extension services to be in a moderated way. Maybe I can borrow reference from other professions because agriculture is a profession on itself. For example, for the lawyers, they have the Law Society of Kenya, and that governs how they practice law in Kenya. The extension maybe should borrow much of that, and at least there be a moderating agency on how extension is done, so that at least even when you go and lie to a farmer and you know there are some repercussions in that, and that will be able to empower farmers more because the data or the knowledge that will be given, it will be on point. Yes.
Right. We have seen a number of solutions that have come up, innovative and technological solutions, and people are offering, let me say, remote extension services, yeah?
Yes.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. There's a farmer who told me you can only do so much with stuff you get on the phone. You know, you have to have someone look at the quality of the leaf and all that stuff. So young people are innovating. They're coming up with solutions. Are they speaking to the challenges that the farmers are actually facing?
Yes. Most of the extension solutions that are present, maybe I can give an example of the AI models that are being developed to assist farmers diagnose different problems within the farm. They are quite good ideas and quite innovative because now they reduce they increase the accessibility of extension services. Because, for example, you have a cow within your farm and it needed immediate attention for a specific problem that it is having. Now, you know, if you have an AI model that you can be able to diagnose that, you can call the doctor and give a specific context of whatever you have there, so that when he comes, he will have to now take the, I guess, medication or treatment from there, rather than you call a person to come and check, then now you take action from there. At least you have an immediate response. But now on a second thought, for extension, I believe they are supposed to be having a humanly experience, because, for example, like when we sit here and share our experience, that is more of profound on the possibilities that can have, because the farmer will share what he has and the expert will share on different solutions to that. But for the AI, you just feed and it gives you one response that you have to work with that now.
Right.
But when you're interacting, two of you, at least you exchange from whatever you see from the cows and maybe the crops and other things.
Right, thank you. Eliud, I'd like to now hear your thoughts on the two questions that I've asked. The challenge of scarcity of extension services for farmers, as well as the solutions that are coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me begin with the second question.
Right.
You mentioned about whether the ideas and the innovations that are being set up by the youths are really informing the problems that are facing the farmers. You see, at this point in time, we need to look at agriculture holistically, because agriculture also feeds some other sectors of the economy. So really, you cannot talk about agriculture without talking about education. You talk about agriculture, you mention health. You talk about agriculture, you mention transport and all that. So I wanted to give an example of an app that has been developed. Where I come from, that is Maranga University of Technology. There's a mobile hub that has been developed by a student. Basically, this is an app that maps or brings together several players in it. One is that it's an app that is meant to bring in the farmer and various input providers, service providers. For example, we are talking about an app that is able to inform the farmer. For example, when a farmer wants to source for seeds to plant, just gets to app, just the same way you just transact on your Safaricom app. So just gets to the app, he'll be able to see a list of agrovests that are available or the seed providers that are available and be able to select which one is nearer to them, be able to just order and have that one delivered at his or her doorstep. So you see that one is already bringing a solution because it really minimizes that transportation cost and all that. Number two, it also creates job opportunities for the youths. Remember, we have so many border riders. Youths are trying to equal a living from all sorts of activities that they do. So by coming up with this app, is able to address the issue of employment opportunity because that particular fertilizer has to be brought from a particular service provider to this farmer at that rural setup. Number three, in this particular app, we also have extension service providers also onboarded on this app. For example, if I'm experiencing maybe a particular symptom or rather a disease affecting my crops, through that particular platform, I can be able to search for an agronomist or somebody, a pathologist to come and just assess my farm. At the click of a button, I'm able to find one and also get that service delivered at the doorstep. So these are some of the things that we are saying. Some of these innovations by the youths are game changers because at the end of the day, that particular farmer will just consume exactly an idea that has been incubated by this particular youth, given a platform to do that. You mentioned about the second question on...
Just hold on that.
Yes.
I'll come to you in just a little bit. I'm informed that we need to head to Elgeyo Marakwet Turkana border where the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kiptum Murkomen is addressing matters in security. Let's just listen into that.
And the challenge, of course, being a international border county is that West Pokot has with because of its border with. If I start internally, the persisting problem of banditry has affected this county just like many other counties in the North Rift, but there has been great progress thanks to Operation Maliza Walivu and the border of West Pokot and Turkana, particularly the through Kainuk, Laminyeusi, Kambikarais area, and all those places. There has been great improvement in because of the Operation Maliza Walivu, and also the fact that the local leaders and local communities from the both counties have invested their time and energy to support security operations, but also peace building. On the part of West Pokot also and Turkana, we still have some challenges in a number of parts of, and these challenges are both ways. Bandits coming from this side going to Turkana and the same from Turkana. And if you go to the border between West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo, particularly Elgeyo Marakwet island side is now fairly contained, although we are, once in a while they see of livestock, but as you progress down to through Pokot Central to particularly the Cheptulel area, Chesegon area, all the way to Lomut, we'll have a huge challenge there. Sadly, there is because of the operations that on board. There is a lot of progress, but the challenge we still have. The second area have not gone back to their homes, and this is not we are one of the challenges also for them to rebuild their houses, and been putting together some budgetary allocation. We hope quarter of this financial year, a number of the families will be given materials so that they can go build their homes. We want to reassess the presence of security personnel in that area. Units that to report is that there to school and provided, even though the operations are still ongoing, flashing out criminals, them and dealing with them accordingly. The security team have briefed me, and even the criminals who are hiding in caves, running away from, are under, and I can promise Pokot and their neighbors that with these criminals squarely. We know that we have a camp here in and Kabushen area generally to cover Pokot South, particularly Kabiego and Embobut Ward of Kamalogon Forest of this criminal, and we have also agreed that operations to arrest these criminals or and according of police operations. On the part of international, our challenge, the biggest challenge in our border from this here in Kwanza all the way to Lamu is that it's very porous. Borders. Even the border here in Konyao, not properly manned, and there are many other, small routes that are accessed by criminals coming to this part of proliferation of small arms, bullets that are, sold illegally around the border with Uganda. And the police have mapped out persons who are engaged in this trade. And I just need to warn them because they're wearing suits and own vehicles. We know them now. We have their numbers. They are being monitored. They are due to be arrested. And I want to warn them that if they find themselves in crossfire, we don't want them to come crying that, the police should have done this or that. We know those criminals who are in this area, and I want to tell them they need to behave. And they are clever. Ati we ni kiongozi, ni kiongozi ama opinion leader, or pretending here to can wear a suit and they are carrying guns to go and sell to young people to cause chaos. Just remember the famous quote that if you rattle a snake, you must be ready to be bitten by it. And the consequences will be extremely dire. Extremely, not laughing about this. I want to tell the people of North Rift, we are having targeted the National Police and all our security, targeted, well surveilled, intelligent operations, and we will pick people from their villages and their comfort of their shops, take them through a justice process. So be very careful, and I'm not talking to Pokots only. This message goes to Marakwet here, because we know it's a collusion across these and there is very good leads. I've been briefed by the security people. They are doing very good job. We will let these people one by one clear the place and make sure that our people live in peace. Because we do not want few elements pretending to be. So this border, that is one problem. Number two is there is a lot of illegal goods through this border. People not paying taxes, Ugandan border. Again, contraband and counterfeit goods also being smuggled through that border. We also have challenges that are related to cheap alcohol that have people here. I have told the security agencies in this county that we are not going to do their job. They must do their job. And anybody who doesn't want to do their job, they pack and go. We know them. And I'm going to have a conversation with the chiefs. There is no chief who doesn't know where cheap alcohol, drugs are being sold in their own location. There is no assistant chief who doesn't know. So I want to know, is the problem that the chiefs don't know, or is the problem that the police are not doing their job? And which police officers, which OCS is not doing his job? So, and we thank in this area because we want them to also work with us to make sure we get rid. Many young people, their lives are being wasted by drugs and cheap alcohol that come through this border, and also some we manufacture in our own country, and those are the issues that we need to deal with clearly. The other problem you have here in the...
That right there is the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kiptum Murkomen speaking at Kapenguria in West Pokot as he undertakes a security briefing about the Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana and West Pokot borders. Of course, he has said that there will be targeted operations by the security officers to ensure that bandits or those who are causing mayhem in the area are very well handled in the justice system. He has also talked about porous borders, and he has warned people that they should not be putting arms or illegal arms into the hands of the bandits. We shall be getting you details of that particular story in our subsequent bulletins. But now in studio, we want to complete our conversation here on how to ensure that the young people are involved in agriculture with Arthur Muiruri, who is a president, Kenya Agricultural Students Association, and Eliud Kibet, advisory board member at the Kenya Agricultural Students Association. Eliud, I would like you to, in very few words, finish your answer on extension services, and also just tell us what is happening tomorrow before I close with Arthur.
Sorry, thank you for the opportunity. I was saying that many farmers have not appreciated the role of extension farmers, extension officers for that matter. So you realize that they don't know that these are the agents of deploying the current information or even the weather information, latest technologies, and even innovations to the farmers at grassroots level. So the earlier they understand this, they will be able to incorporate or rather pay up for the services that are being offered by these officers. So I think the challenge is actually lack of understanding on the role played by these extension officers. So perhaps we need to do more of capacity building on that. Now, the second question that you've raised is that tomorrow we are having an agricultural industrial workshop, linkage workshop happening at the University of Nairobi, Katik Center for that matter. This is a workshop that is meant to bring in academia and the industry players together. So tomorrow we are expecting a panel of students. We have academia represented by the lecturers and professors. We'll also have the industry players, the private sector. We also have the NGOs, all of them sitting on a round table to discuss the connection between this industry and academia. How should we align our curriculums to suit what the industry wants? Because we really want to bridge this gap, because we've realized that the weak links between these gaps is what is really causing a lot of lack of opportunities for our youths and all that. So as I finish, so tomorrow we look forward to having that discussion, and this discussion has been facilitated or rather supported by Elgon Kenya Limited, which is one of the leading agricultural inputs
Thank you.
supply.
I cannot really take something that looks like a marketing gig here, but yeah, thank you for that. Arthur, your closing remarks, 30 seconds, please.
My closing remarks will be on the position of youth-led youth-led agricultural related organizations in association maybe and organization in championing for more inclusive youth engagement in agriculture. Maybe they need to be supported, and so that whatever interventions they have, they can be able to be amplified and scaled, so that at least at the end of the day we have more young people engaging in the space of agriculture.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I will take those as your closing remarks. We are out of time here, but I have been speaking with Arthur Mwiruri, who is the President, Kenya Agricultural Students Association, as well as Eliud Kibet, who is an advisory board member at the Kenya Agricultural Students Association. I will now pave way for my colleague Sheila Yogo, who is on standby to bring you Kurunzi Mashinani in the Swahili language. My name is Betty Kiptum. Thank you very much for staying with us on BizCheck, and enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye.